In today's class, we're going to sketch the graph of the following function. So where we are going to consider examples under transformation and reflection. Okay, so the second and third examples here are examples of translation, and we're going to sketch that using the parent function of y equals square root of x. So let's start from that. So from parent function, we have y equals square root of x. We have the graph of that to be this. This is the graph of y equals square root of x. Okay, then for square root of x plus 2, the only difference here is that plus 2 here implies that 2 units to the word to the left. I told you in the previous class that when you have plus 2 or plus a constant, that means you are going to move that to the left. That is horizontal shift. And if it is minus, that is vertical shift. So this implies that we are going to have that to be here. That's going to be here. Okay, such that this place here now is what is minus 2. And now it is important for students to indicate y-intercept here, as you can see. So and for us to get y-intercept, that means at that point x must be 0, and when x is 0 here, that will be square root of 0 plus 2. Okay, so you have y to be root 2, so this place is square root of 2. All right, now for the third question, where you have y equals to square root of x minus 2, because of minus 2, because of minus now, that means it is horizontal shifts, and which is 2 units to the right, unlike the previous example. Okay, so we're gonna have something like this for that. Okay, this is what we are going to have here, and this point here now is 2. As you can see, there is no y-intercept here, so you don't need to find that. Even if you try to find that, there is no way you can get y-intercept. Okay, let's check that. The reason why there is no y-intercept here is that, you know, the function is y equals to square root of x minus 2, and for you to get y-intercept, you must take x to be 0. When x is 0, what happens here? You have square root of minus 2, and this will actually give us imaginary number, so it will not give us real value. So that is why there is no y-intercept here. Okay, so let's consider next example, and these examples we are going to consider here is under reflection. And remember, this can be obtained from square root of x. Okay, so square root of y equals minus root x. Now it is reflection of root x along x-axis. Okay, and we're gonna have something like this for that. So this is the graph of y equals square root of minus x. Okay, y equals minus root x, sorry. So this is the graph for that. So we're now going to use this to get the next function, which is question 5 and 6. So when you check number 5, there we have y equals minus square root of x plus 3. Remember, so we have vertical shifts, we have horizontal shift, then it is we also have reflection. So the horizontal shift here is plus 3, and plus 3 here means that 3 units to the left. So we take the function 3 units to the left. So this particular function that we have here now, we're gonna have something like this here. This is what we are going to have for that. Okay, so where this place now will be what? This place will be minus 3. Okay, so let me just put that here. This place now will be minus 3. Okay, and y-intercept is important here. So for y-intercept, when x is 0 now, we have minus 0, 3. So this is the graph for y equals minus square root of x plus 3. Okay, so now for y equals, this is number 5, don't forget that. And for number 6, where we have y equals square root of minus square root of x minus 3. So this is both reflection and translation, and the translation here is vertical shift. So because of minus here now, you have 3 units to the right instead of left now. So we have this, sorry, gonna have this, we have this, and we're gonna have something like this. Okay, so where this point here is what, this is 3. Okay, so and that is that on that. So if there is no minus here, that means you're gonna have something like this. If there is no minus, we are going to have something like this. So this side here is for, this is for square root of x plus 3, where this place is for minus root x plus 3. Okay, so let's consider for both vertical shift and horizontal shift. So let's consider examples on that. So say we have square root of x plus 2 then plus 1. Okay, when you look at this, so we have horizontal shifts here, horizontal shifts of what, 2 units, 2 units, and 2 units is what, to the left because of plus. Then we have vertical shifts, vertical shifts, this is 1 unit, this is 1 unit, and plus 4 here, plus 1 here implies that 1 unit above x-axis. If it is negative, that means below x-axis. Okay, so let's get that now. We have this, I'm gonna have something like this. Okay, okay, so don't forget the function. Here is the function y equals root x plus 1, x plus 2, then plus 1. So we said we are going to have 2 units to the left, so let's say this place is minus 2 now. Then y units above x-axis, if this is 1, that means this is the point. So 1 unit above x-axis here implies that the minimum we can obtain here is what, is 1. That is the minimum value we can obtain for y. So that is why the graph starts from here, the curve starts from here, and we have something like this. So that is for square root of x plus 2. And it is important for students to get to indicate y-intercept. This is y-intercept, and y-intercept, I told you, you can only get that when x is 0. So I don't know the actual value, but that will be root 2 plus 1. You can change that to decimal. Okay, and as you can see, the importance of this graph here is that it is pretty obvious here that the minimum value of y you can get is what, is 1, and that can only happen when x is what, when x is minus 2. Okay, so I will talk more on that when we'll be talking about range and domain of function. Okay, so let me consider one more example on this. Let's say y equals root x minus 2 plus 4, then I have minus. Now this is just like combination of 3 transformations. Okay, there is vertical shift here, there is horizontal shift, and there is reflection here. So let's start from the inner term here, which is inside the square roots. So we have horizontal shift there, horizontal shifts of 2 units, but because of minus now, that means 2 units to the right. So to the right. Okay, and we have vertical shifts, that's 4 units. 4 units here is what, above x-axis, 4 units above x-axis. Okay, then we have reflection here, reflection, because this is negative square roots, and the reflection here is reflection on x-axis. So these are the 3 key points we need to what's it called, to identify before we proceed to sketch this given curve. All right, now since we've written that now, so let's locate those things on the graph. Okay, is our graph. We have this. I would like to take this down a bit. Okay, so let's start from horizontal shift, which is 2 units. Let's say this point here is 2, this is 2. Okay, then the vertical shift we have 4, let's say this point is 4. So what happens here? This is what we are going to have. Okay, but now before then, when you look at this, minus square root of x minus 2, so this minus is very close to square root compared to 4. Okay, so if you want to get that, we need to sketch this one first. I'm talking about this. So we need to sketch this first. So after that, then we now apply the vertical shift. So to sketch y equals let's say we have y1 to be, or y2 to be minus root x minus 2. Okay, to sketch that now, that would be this. This is what we are going to have for that. Okay, so where this point here is what, where this is 2. Now this same thing that we have here, now we now take it up, we move it up 4 units. That's the meaning, 4 units. That means instead of this to start from the x-axis here, it will now start from this point. Okay, so this is where it's gonna start from. So we now have something like this. So we have something like this here, and of course this will eventually intersect x-axis. There is a way to find that. So I can actually remove this now. Let me sketch this again, then I can remove this. Okay, so this is the graph for y equals minus square root of x minus 2 plus 4. Okay, and if you want to know when this graph will eventually intersect x-axis, and that is when y is equals to 0. Okay, and y can only be 0 here when x is 6. When x is 6 here, let me just write it out so that it won't be like an abstract. Minus root x minus 2 plus 4. We don't need to do that, but I'm just explaining. I just have to explain so that you can get that better. So when x is 6, what happens here? You have minus roots. Okay, I think we can use 6. Let's use something like maybe 18. Yes, let's use 18. 18 is fine. 18 minus 2, that will give us 16. So plus 4. And of course here you have square root of 16, that is minus 4. Then minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So the curve here will intersect x-axis when x is equals to what? When x is 16. Okay, so that is that on transformation on square roots, particularly on translation and reflection. Okay, so if you are just joining us for the first time, kindly click on the subscription bell so that you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. Thank you. Bye bye.